In his tears the salt of earth. On his lap the proudly held grandson. On my cheek loved whiskery bird. And this is the strap that they would sharpen the blade on for shaving.
Oh,
That's what that is. Oh, good, darling. I want these things to mean something. I don't want them to be
absolutely.
left in mystery, the land of mystery. Matriarch. I didn't know a lot of this stuff, but legend has it great-grandmother in Mayo smoked a clay pipe and bossed 7 sons. Each one knew his place and did the work of many. They all did what they were told. When she died in the winter of 1910, the ground was so hard with ice they could hardly dig an inch, never mind a deep grave. So they kept her on the kitchen table for over a week in awe, too afraid to act without her blessing, until the priest came with the thaw. When such anecdotes of love and deep respect are passed along for future kin, I pause, reflect, exaggerate the fragments I've been given, and keep a link with stories I'm still living in.
That's beautiful. It's funny how they kept her on the kitchen table for a week.
Well, I made it up.
Did you?
I got no idea.
And I love how the priest came with the Thor.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. What a great image.
He was, again, you don't know what to say in a poem, but the poem tells you what to say. And I love this little...
the Celtic cross
yeah,
shadow.
this little shadow, is
Yeah.
it? Just accidentally there.
There was one of those at the cemetery today.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, good, Dan. I'm glad you're seeing these and you see the meaning behind them. It's to do with the Celticness of things.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan, I'm so pleased. Uncle Ned. I was 10 when I saw him first, chasing cows around a field, clanging his bucket and stool, shouting, St. Margaret, St. Bridget, and a few Irish curses, till one stood still to be milked. He called them all after saints. And as he crouched by another, dung-crusty tail flicking his face, the smug saint smirked and cheered. I could see the cow knowing exactly what they were doing when they swished their shit tail in his face. I could see them. Seeing me, he rose with a smile, and standing twice my size, shook hands, covering me in dung, soil, milk. Then striding, led me round his land. Back in his cottage, he poured the milk into a big bowl on the bare earth floor for cheese, sat me on his best old chair, and searched for a teacup fit for sherry, blue willow filled to brown chipped brim to toast the future, now and the past. I drank as deep as a man, and in turf fire smoke we talked, eldest ones of old and new generations, the policeman retired from Dublin troubles, the schoolboy from Manchester.
Yeah.
He was the tallest of them all.
Was he?
Grandad was a little Celt, a tiny, like Jeff. Jeff was small.
Yeah.
But great Uncle Ned was a really tall ex-Dublin policeman.
Was he?
He was the one that sorted everyone out. Oh dear.
Wow.
Oh dear.
That's so great to know how you knew him, because
there's a story around each one.
Yes, because I would see his name and I remember the pictures of his cottage.
Oh yes. The
But
associations there.
Otherwise, I know nothing else about him. So
if you picture a nice, tall, I suppose, ex-policeman, which he was.
Wow. And Ned was just what he was known by. He was...
he's Edward or something.
Yeah, I think he had a different name, he was just Ned. And
but there was a whole lot of them. There was my Uncle Martin. There was a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
And I got to know a lot of them.
That's good.
So it's a link with so much, isn't it? St. Margaret, St. Bridget. He called them all after saints. These are the cows. Oh, lovely.
And that says something about him, doesn't it?
It
the
does.
fact that he called the cows after names of saints.
Of course. Well, he was still linked with the religion.
Yeah.
Very much so. Oh dear, I'm getting all emotional, darling.
Oh.
And we've got the spring.
Yeah.
I ran with rattling bucket over green, green fields, drinking deep the clean, keen Irish air. Sure you'll never miss it, child. Antidote. That's antidote.
Oh, yeah.
Antidote. I mean, it's a funny old name, isn't it?
I remember hearing the name.
Auntie's sweet voice echoed to Lake Bacon and on to where the Neffin Hills turned blue. It's a distant hills.
Neffin.
It's Neffin. I saw on the map. It's Neffin.
Neffin Hills.
That's what. Yeah.
Wow.
I found the track worn thin by cows, geese, ancestors. The spring lay clear and cold. Deep puddles seeping out of earth, slipping at the brink to quick stream down through hedges to the lake. On the dust-powdered surface, you see, they told me to take the bucket, a massive big bucket, which I could hardly carry, with no water in it, get some water. And I had to fill it with
It
water.
would have been one of those big metal buckets
Yes.
that are quite
And
heavy.
they said get some water, because that's the spring. The spring is where you get a bucket full of water.
Yeah.
On the dust-powdered surface, goose feathers twirled in a breeze. Beetles, black and shiny, rode on their shells. Others strode, too light to sink. All daintier, tinier things lived in their world. I stayed long. I saw Grandad and his dad chasing round the fields as lads, filling their bucket like me in a disaster of ripples. Back at the house, Antidote,
Yeah.
looked deep and smiled. Sure you will miss it, child, she said. Before she said you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Oh dear. See, they called her Dote. They always called her Dote. That was the name they gave her since her name was Mary. Mary Duffy.
Oh. And
But,
it was dope.
But she was just always known as Dote. And then you say antidote and it sounds like a joke.
Antidote.
Antidote. You're the antidote, eh? Oh, we've got a problem over here. Having a bad reaction to the drugs. I need the antidote. Oh, antidote. Okay, come over here.
I wonder where that really came from then.
Well, dote is a loving expression.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you call
like you're
someone
doted.
dote, yeah,
Yeah.
you doted on them.
Yeah.
But that's just what grew.
Wow.
So I've got no answer to that because I had nothing to do with the development of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about it because there's so many questions that I still don't have any answer
Yeah,
for.
you like that. That's a mystery for you. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see these lovely parchment images here, and then
It's well done. Yeah.
Fiona Doyle. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
I think it was Tommy Doyle's daughter.
Yeah, I remember the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we've got a different sort of
Scene.
image
Yeah.
through the ruins of the building, I suppose, looking out towards the
So
water.
that one's Mayo Bog.
I was 10 chasing butterflies round Uncle's farm in Mayo, where long grass fiddle bowed, as birds sang and tiny lights glinted red on hawthorn rose. You get that?
Glinted red on hawthorn rose.
Red berries.
Oh.
When the sun shines,
Yes.
red berries.
Really lights them up, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah.
Stopping on a rise, I saw it, losing breath to see so far, breast flat under grey vapours, 80 miles of Atlantic sponge, all the way to the Atlantic.
Sponge.
I'd heard. It is sponge. They call it
Ah.
spongy. So it's all on peat.
Oh,
Peat
yeah.
is sponge.
I can picture it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd heard old tales of peasants held for 1,000 years by gods of mud and mist, then given back black as prunes, with bones dissolved. They get his bodies out. The bones are dissolved, but there's still a body there.
Yeah.
And the bones are dissolved because, I suppose, the calcium
Yeah.
didn't hold the bones solid. But the rest, they became black as prunes.
Wow.
Church bells tolled a faint midday as turf cutters wiped their brows and knelt for the Angelus. The Angelus is a prayer.
Oh.
Every midday you hear the church and then you get down. No matter what you're doing, you get down on your knees. Say the Angelus. The Angelus is a whole list of prayers involving Hail Marys and all stuff, which they all used to do.
The church would sound.
Yeah,
Like,
and that was the warning sign. Oh, it's now midday, so you've got to say the Angelus. Okay?
wow. And stop whatever you're doing.
And they'd have their rosary beads out.
Really?
Yeah, there was a whole system. Oh, Darling, I'm glad you're hearing all
Yeah,
this because
'cause
it means
I
more.
love to hear the rest of it.
Oh, darling, yes.
All the background of it.
Yeah.
Was the church like sounding a bell?
In the distance.
Was
in
it
the
a,
distance.
a
Yeah.
bell?
Church bells tolled a faint midday.
Oh, and you could hear it and you knew.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I didn't know how far it was from that point to the edge of the map of Ireland. We could call it 80 miles or whatever. But we knew the whole thing was like sponge, the whole land.
Yeah.
I heard old tales of peasants held for 1,000 years by gods of mud and mist, then given back black as prunes with bones dissolved. There was stories about that.
Yeah.
Bodies
How
found.
they got there?
Yeah, and they usually had they'd been hung.
Oh.
They'd been punished
Yeah.
for some reason, and they still had the rope around their neck sometimes.
Gosh.
Church bells tolled a faint midday as turf cutters wiped their brows and knelt for the Angelus. Not sure if I should or not. I had no idea what to do. All this. I took my hunger back for lunch. The weight of ages of unknown depth like suction in my head. There was more to it than ever
Yeah.
you can say in something like this.
Yeah.
But there were people there who had been hung and still had the rope around their neck and stuff like that.
Gosh.
It's only a Mayo bog.
But they ended up in the bog.
Yeah, because they were thrown in.
That's where they put them after they were.
I used to walk around that whole area, which I could have fallen into the bloody bog.
Gee, yeah.
Yeah. So there's so much in it, darling.
So at times they would just come across another
Yeah.
body that
Well,
they pulled out.
Well, they thought they might have been buried because the ones that they couldn't do much with at the time, they threw them in a hole. But everything's moving all the time because it's so
tidal.
Everything's happening. There's a whole lot of dynamics going on.
And things, yeah.
And so even the bodies that go thrown in one hole, they might turn up in another hole. Oh dear. Oh, Pajo. Look, this is absolute memory. It's absolute.
Well, there's certainly something that spurred you to write about it.
Darling, I'm so glad there's a set of ears that can hear what it's about, you know?
And then all that time you've taken in getting those words on the page.
Well, I'm glad they're there.
Seeing them come together.
Because I still believe them.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah.
I had to get them right when I put them down. But Patro, I knew him very well. Oh, Patro. And he was a friend of Auntie Nora, Grandad, and they all call him Patro.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been started off as Patricia Joseph, Patrick Joseph.
Patrick Joseph.
So they just call him Patro.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, we went to Patjo's at the crossroads of Ballyhornis, Galway, Claremorris and Knock. These are the real names. Ballyhornis is a little market town. Galway is a big town, right on where the boats used to come in Claremorris. And Knock is a major. It's like it's where the cathedral is. So there's a whole. People go and do the signs of the cross, the stations of the cross, around the church there in Knock, because it's like a holy place.
Oh.
So you say Knock, it means nothing here, but anyone else that knows the area.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Knock? Was it? Oh, was that Knock? He showed us the garden that fed most of the village and half the town. So there is Patjo, had a function. A neat row and row of succulent root, every shade of green, and trees heavy with drooping fruit. Here was the man who loved the fertile earth so much, she gave him all the treasure he wanted, and more. Her jewelled leaves flaunted and swayed in the breeze, with no hint of shyness or blush, except to show off a bit more. It's almost saying the fertility of the place was taunting all the people who worked there. Remembering my mother, his niece at my age, he smiled with sweet disbelief and brought us inside to where the big kettle spat. Grandad, his younger brother, said he'd always been old. His red face has never changed, and even when I was still at school, his hair was silver as a halo. As decades had failed to marry him off, legends grew about Mother Earth, his queen, and the deeper shades of her darkest green.
Oh.
You know what it's about now?
Yes.
It's full of sex and filth.
Yes. A few of yours are quite explicit.
Of course, they got to be. They got to be, honey.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would they go looking for? Where's the bit? Where's the bit? Yeah. Oh, darling, that's nice. It's a busy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was taken on a Wednesday in the rain to Ballyhorn's church. I remember this very day. It was drizzly. I had to walk, and it was filled from miles around with the requiem of the postmistress, who brought parcels to 4 generations of poor farmers. That's facts. It's all facts.
Wow.
I remember it so well, even the details. Inside, set before altar glory, the French polished coffin reflected candle flames and tear-red faces bowed in black. Incense disinfected the steaming smell of rain-wet macks. You know what mac is?
Oh, a raincoat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched droplets falling off drenched hair down her back to a pool on the pew and thought of that old boxed body. Later, in drizzle, as they gathered round an open grave to bury and pray, long-distant relatives met again, and I, a visitor for the week, was introduced to Grandad's cousins as the first of my mother's 3. No one spoke of the postmistress. This, her joyful farewell delivery, was not to be dampened by distress. It was a joyous time.
Wow.
We hadn't seen each other for 8.
Yes.
Oh, is that yourself now? Is it all?
And that's what funerals do. They bring the family together.
Yeah.
So even though it was that gloomy, miserable day that was damp and and that funeral kind of thing, but there was that sense of joy and, like how you said,
not to be dampened.
Not to be dampened
by distress. Exactly.
Yes.
Dan, this is a map for you to go to Ballyhorn's church one day, which actually exists, and you can say, well, is any record of the postmistress who was said to bring parcels to 4 generations of poor family?
Wow.
It's factual.
Yes.
You've got something to go on.
Yeah.
As much as you want.
Yeah.
You with your red hair, you'll be in charge of everything.
It's a non-fiction book.
It is. The day had been a full one that post-ladies' requiem mass. Requiem is for the funeral.
Oh, like a wake.
Oh yeah, they call it a requiem mass. Had been packed to the rafters, and those we wouldn't have met if it hadn't been on met us. At dusk we made our way home, tall hedges hiding the lane, and leading me by the hand is Auntie Nora. It was Auntie, humming her hymns deeper. She was nervous as the lane got dim. Then she saw the old woman. Oh God, not a tinker, she cried. Auntie Nora never flinched an eyebrow for anything. She was ready to take on anything. She was terrified of the tinker. Oh God, not a tinker, she cried, bristling my neck, and I thought, what the fuck was that? I mean, she's terrified. I was 10. What was I?
And she made you terrified. You didn't know what you were terrified about.
Black shawls and a cold smile stepped out of the shadows. Cross my old palm with silver, and I'll say a prayer for you, she threatened in friendly tones. You're getting the inside info here, darling. Auntie smiled back. with a sixpence.
Oh.
Auntie Nora
Yeah.
gave her a sixpence.
Yeah.
And we got ourselves along. Yeah, because they're pound silver.
Yeah.
It's got to be silver. It's got to be a sixpence, at least. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Tucked up warm in bed, I asked, was that the old lady who died? Auntie shivered. Of course not! Will she pray for us? I yawned. I hope not! She trembled more. Auntie Nora was not to be swayed by anything.
Yeah.
Auntie Nora was very, very strong. She was the first of the whole new generation. She was the boss of all Mum and all the siblings of Mum. You know? The eldest of all the kids.
She was in charge.
She was. She was my godmother.
Yeah.
Jack's prophecy. Do you want this one?
Yeah.
We haven't got many to go. Out of the depths. See, there's an old prayer for the dead.
Oh.
It starts, out of the depths I have cried to thee, O Lord. O Lord, hear my prayer. Out of the depths. De profundis, it's called.
Oh.
That's the Latin. So I use that.
Okay.
So you know it.
Yeah.
What was it called?
De profundis.
Profound depths. Yeah. Out of the depths of turf fire smoke, and as evening voices digested the day and eyes made the fireplace a stage for the drama of slow burning peat, his black sigh burst into gloom. I'm gonna die tonight. His repeated announcement came in the lulls as the family twinkled its eye for how used they all were to his ways. He rocked 30 years of last nights in the best chair by the hearth since he came home to Mayo with the doctor's warnings of death on the next drink past his lips. Operations on his brain were officially successful cures, but guilt and fear nipped his grip with a Christmas toast in the first forgetting of his pledge. Now, what's all that said?
He's forgotten. He's had a drink.
Yeah.
And he's forgotten to do his pledge.
The promise.
The promise.
He thought he got 30 years of last night and the best year since he came home to Mayo with the doctor's warnings of death on the next drink past his lips. Operations on his brain were officially successful cures, but guilt and fear nipped his grip with a Christmas toast in the first forgetting of his pledge. I, the great nephew on holiday, was put to sleep in the best bed, in the best room, with the other special one, a condemned man ready to die. I had to sleep with the bugger. He was madman.
Did you know that he was on his deathbed?
No, I knew that he was very strange.
Yeah.
And we had no choice. So best room with the other the special ones had to be treated special.
Yeah.
A condemned man ready to die. So to him, he thought he was going to die tonight.
Yeah.
He woke one night screaming cold terror as the grim surgeon honed a scraping stone along a scythe. Can you picture that?
Yeah. Yeah.
10 years old. I told him he was dreaming and hushed him back to sleep. 10 years on, he woke again in horror from a life of night and finally made his prophecy right. What does that mean?
10 years later, he did die.
Yes. That was his prophecy.
Yeah.
John Maguire. He was a great neighbour, right next door to Uncle Ned. His place was a tidy one, next door to Uncle Ned. On the cold day I met him, he was hacking at the hedge. I've got a photo of him doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wrapped in his old coat, collecting kindling twigs. 80 Mayo winters of cut logs and bog turf had chimneyed the fires of his life to heaven. Looking deep into my face, he saw my mother's uncle. Jesus, Jack. Sure, it's a miracle. Is that you? He thought I was Uncle Jack. Mum's uncle.
Yeah.
Clear as the sky, his eyes unclouded summers of boyhood, harvested long ago with Grandad and his brothers. Uncle Ned, Uncle Jack, all the brothers of Grandad. Under thatch and tweed cap, his brow was an attic of secrets he'd kept until almost too late. In fading light he lit his pipe, with a bundle of memories gathered me slow. In fading light he lit his pipe, with a bundle of memories gathered me glowing to his heart.
Oh.
I don't know whether that's correct in the sense of how it should go.
Printing error?
I don't know. It's my brain error. Fading light he lit his pipe, with a bundle of memories gathered me glowing to his heart. Because I ran out of line.
Because it seemed to
It seemed to gel.
fit, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. See, that's a little turf fire.
Yeah, that's hard to make out what it is. Yeah, you can see it better there on the cover. Yeah.
But what can you do?
So John Maguire
Was the neighbour of Uncle Ned.
and he thought you were someone else.
Well, yes. He thought I was Uncle Jack.
Yes.
Jack, sure it's a miracle. Because I was just, everyone said, Jack, you're back. I was only a kid.
And you didn't know who Jack was?
No. Well, they were referring to great uncle Jack, because he was always great uncle Ned, great uncle Ned, great uncle Ned.
Oh, everyone's great.
Great uncle,
Yeah.
Great uncle Ned, great uncle Martin.
Yeah.
Between the shafts of all I haul from dawn to dark, along the lane from bog to barn and back again, I plod each day of seasons into years of steady steps. Buckles and belts rattle and creak, leather and brass, collar and straps, all are bits of me. But I am more than what I do. See the cross on my blessed back? You know every donkey's got a cross on its back.
Oh.
Check every donkey you ever see.
The way that it's bridled? Or
it's just there.
Or on
take everything off. Take
on
all,
their actual coat.
On the fur.
Oh, really?
It's a cross.
Wow.
They say it's because Jesus used a donkey.
He did.
So what do I say, blessed? See the cross on my blessed back? Behind a mask of blinkers, I may seem sad or blank, resigned to fate. You may see me blind or innocent, but don't be fooled. I need none of your pity. Beyond a veneer of pathos lies the smirk of an ass. Truth lies deeper than daily strides on a toiling path. Remember the unshackled summer? I was not led away at dawn to face a loaded cart and straining harness. There's more pornography coming.
I know this one is, yeah.
Was it hours, a day, or whole weeks? I was left in a field just to be. Memory is no measure. Memory is no measure. She came to me shyly, I recall. I stood bewildered under hawthorns, flicking flies with my ears and tail as the sun began its long haul to the sky. She butted my neck and turned a cute kick, flaring my nostrils with her scent. I chased her, mad with curiosity, seeking sweet oblivion, nuzzling her bristly mane, and found the coziest niche in that ripe field, putting her at ease and at ease again. We raced and rolled for hours that day, or was it 10 minutes? Time and toil torment me not since then. Love is no burden and pays no toll. Now, hauling loads of nothing to nowhere, I know I'm the sire of something born, great and magic.
Wow.
Azar.
Unicorn, which is
comes next.
the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you get my drift?
Yes. That's beautiful.
Oh, darling.
Yeah.
And it's pornographic.
I know.
Deep in the forest under ferns he sleeps like a rock. His grey back is dappled moss, warmed by sun rays, slanting through trees down to his bower. Living in eternity, his night is 100 years, his day an hour of sun. Spirits of woodland, raindrop, dew, snowflake and breeze wash his dreams. All is a chatter round leaf and bough as birds rehearse a chorus for the next awakening. Old tree, serious and wise, creaks and sighs for the day he swayed under a sapling summer sky so long ago when unicorn last appeared. 2 butterflies, celestial blue and pink, flutter like eyelashes until unicorn blinks the first sign.
Oh.
Sheltering in cosy hollows, in forks of solid sycamores, forest creatures stir as the air begins to buzz. He wakes. His Majesty rises on timid legs, stepping into magnificence, bounding to slow gallops that ripple the ground, thundering drums of heaven, trailing mythologies in the wake of flying mane and tail, nostrils flaring, white energy, recreating clouds. Birds in a new sky shine with song, hearts revitalized, soaring to melodies for the birth of another century on earth. All too soon the day is done. An hour from dawn to setting sun, he returns to mist as Pegasus. Past and future generations, in awe and shock, cling like moss upon the rock. It took a bit of writing, that.
Yeah, that one kind of, it's a little bit set apart from the other ones.
It is.
And
look at that. Look at that lovely image.
Yeah.
It is.
And it was like a transcendation from the donkey one.
Look at that.
Yeah, leading like on after that.
Yeah, look at the difference between plodding on and that monstrous hero thing. And then the dream. See, Tony Babb got me that photo from the big gates of Warrington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he told me about.
Yeah, keep going.
I drift. Okay. I drift into waking day with Yeats debating. You know Yeats?
Yeats, he's a poet.
Yeah. Debating fragments of unwritten verse, convinced I'd witnessed him creating eloquence poetic as a morning bird. It's a dream. Yet he told me to go ahead and prove that all the silly stuff he wrote for love was a ploy to catch the heart of Maud. She was loved by many.
Oh, I've heard that name.
Firing his cannon for a hopeless cause. So I think Yeats was in love with her, and she with him, but then there was some difficulty with it happening.
Yeah.
How else do poets posing in monocles and Panama see? Yeats always presented himself with a monocle, a Panama hat.
Oh.
Gain a pass through gilded gates of guarded estates like Cool Park.
They're the gates.
Yeah, is what guarded the estate. Passions gathered in such a time and place, pooled wit and skill for plans and schemes, gaining power to pierce our waking dreams. So it's a bit of a fill-in poem, really.
Yeah.
But I got that. That's Warrington. That's from Warrington. And Babington told me about the gates of Warrington.
Wow.
And so I took it.
They look magnificent.
Yeah,
huge.
Archetypal gates.
Yeah.
And then I.
But that kind of brings you back down from that transcendent unicorn.
Yeah, the unicorn thing.
Yeah.
But then back to a girl. And I knew this lady.
Yeah.
Once in Dublin, I saw a woman shawled in shadows, drag from the shrouded night a moan that sent a needle into God. So a keen is a sort of a hymn to God, which is a sadness, keening. Usually for someone that's died. And Noreen, she was part of this.
So she sang a keen.
Yes.
Wow.
Sent a needle into God. Tossing her face to the luminous moon, she cried an old song, threading silver through bone, shredding my shivering soul. To me, she was Ireland, spading the soil of lament, sobbing centuries of baby graves, washing blood of slaughtered sons and men who came not home.
Aww.
I see her still, each night alone at the hearth of my wet eye, pouring unsweet tea for brother grief, stirring her loss with disbelief she'll never own. I didn't know how to put that. I didn't know whether it was logically.
But you get it, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's about Jeff too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because.
But I wanted to get the image. I thought even accidentally I got a twist of the shawl on her back.
Oh, wow.
And I was very happy about it.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like somehow it happened.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was Anne Doyle, Anne and Tommy. Anne told me, well, you're the Mayo man.
Oh.
No one is a more Mayo man than you.
Oh.
When she called me Mayo man, I knew who I wasn't. She is a Dublin woman, so she knows more than most who fits the county plan. I'm not a Manchester man. Though born round there, I've never felt the fit. And after living here 40 years, I'd be an Aussie if I gave a shit. I can say good day, she'll be right, like other cobbers. But something has never sat quite as a stereotype should. Then she read about Grandad from Cloonbulliban. I know what's wrong with you, you mad fecker. Excuse the French. Mad. They call it feckin'. Fecker.
Yeah.
She understood, as if she'd seen the original draft before the plan. All that's gone before and all that's yet to come. Was she a tinker or a witch? But when the words flew off her lips, compliment or curse, something fell on me. I looked around. The world was the same, but suddenly different. I was given a link with things deeper than we normally think. It felt okay, belonging to a clan. You're just a fucking Mayo man.
Oh. So even he said it.
No, that was Anne. I think Anne Doyle said that.
She said that.
Yeah. Tom kept his trap shut.
It did.
If he owned his trap, he'd always get in trouble. That's it, darling.
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Oh, one more.
To Anne and Tommy. Walk into the welcome whenever you go round to sit by the hearth of Doyle. The permanent invitation is tangible as tea, warm as scones, fresh out of the oven. The kitchen simmers with endless conversation, seasoned with soup about to be served up. Here you breathe the air of kin, where fresh ideas grow with blessings before you go. Many a pot is boiled here for another brew, as long shadows reach for a future gathered now. Friends are forever. The embers at the hearth of Doyle are jewels in the heart of love. Do you know I never went there again after all that?
Oh, did you?
No. For some reason, they were just a bit self-conscious about me raving on about it. Bullshit.
Well,
But it was dedicated to memory of Jeff.
yeah.
Darling, so thanks for your patience.
You know, you could write one to Jeff, like
Oh, wow.
you've done here.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh
To
yeah.
Dear Jeff, and leave it on his gravesite
Oh yeah.
at Noraville.
Yes. we
Leave
could.
it there.
Yeah. I mean, with this, there's
For
a.
him. We know
there's
it's
this,
for
we've
him.
still
but-
got other copies of this,
yeah.
so we can
We
do
can
stuff like
give
that.
him a copy.
Yeah. Well, I'd love you to be with me when we do
Yes.
it. If we, end up.
And
doing
what
it.
was it he liked to drink?
Oh, anything.
we can give him a drink and go have a drink while we sit and
Yes. Oh, darling.
yeah.
You've got the right spirit about you.
Yeah.
No wonder you've got red hair.
Let's do that.
We will. We have to, darling.
Yeah.
Now you've mentioned it, but they're getting restless, and I think they don't like.